and the Masters of the Universe. I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull!" Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret. Our friends, the Sorceress, Man-at-Arms, and Orko. Together we defend Castle Grayskull from the evil forces of Skeletor.
Hi guys, welcome to Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the daughter of the Sorceress, CY Chon, and
Man-at-Arms, Kyle Charles.
Then you would be my dad.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Okay, we're going to be talking about Masters of the Universe Revelation, the Netflix series. 5 episodes, right?
Yep, part 1 of, I think 2.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, but yeah.
Well, it's definitely part 1. Let's put it that way. You know what, actually? So they were like 25-minute episodes, except I think they were more like 22 minutes each if you take away the credits and stuff.
Yeah, they're about that, yeah.
Yeah. I actually thought it went by pretty quickly. Actually.
Yeah, same.
Really good pace.
It didn't outstay its welcome. That's what I say.
Are we just going to go straight spoilers or... you know what? Actually, let's do all the surface stuff first, and then go into that afterwards.
All right, cool.
Cool. I like the animation. I actually thought it really looked really good and really high budget.
Yeah, it did. I was expecting, because how people were talking about it before it came out, it's like they were saying, "Oh, it's a anime," but
yeah,
it wasn't an anime at all, in my opinion. It was like a very high budget, American cartoon.
Yeah. I thought it looked really good. It sounded really good as well. The voice actors, the cast they had was really good. I did like how they made Prince Adam and He-Man different in size.
Yeah,
which is probably what they. Yeah, it was just the same dude with a tan.
Yeah,
essentially. I'm glad they kind of went the Clark Kent route where they made it distinctively different.
Yeah,
and I thought Chris Wood did actually really good because he did tweak his voice for when he's Adam and he's He-Man.
Yeah. Unlike in the old one, where it was the exact same voice.
Yeah, exactly. The voice acting was really good because it did like Mark Hamill as Skeletor. Yeah. He played it as Skeletor would be, as in a little bit hammy here and there.
Yeah.
But actually is a more effective villain than ever because he actually succeeds.
Yeah. The only problem I would say though, I love Mark Hamill and his voice and everything, but it gave off too much of a Joker vibe.
Yeah. I was going to say that as well. He sounded very Joker.
Yeah, it's like copy and paste. Oh yeah, they're sort of the same.
Well, yeah, but that's the nature of the characters, right? Because they're both the Joker and Skeletor are kind of over the top, hammy, and just like well, not necessarily creep is not the word I'm looking for, but they're meant to be sinister-ish.
Yeah,
except they can't be with the confines of the cartoon they're in.
Yeah.
So,
I was a huge fan of the 2003 version of He-Man.
Yeah.
And how they did it in that, Skeletor was actually scary.
Yeah.
And he was like a psychopath and stuff like that. But in the 86 version, or 84, whenever it came out.
85, I think you just missed out the exact year.
Yeah. He never
Oh, no, it's 83, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, 3 years before I was born. Yeah, he never seemed like a threat, so...
Well, okay, the issue they had was they can't have Skeletor win, of course, because it's an 80s cartoon.
Yeah.
So he only ever won when he teamed up with He-Man against other villains.
Yeah.
But then it's like... When you see that stuff and you're like, someone gives Skeletor a break. He's got to win at least once, man. He's not even a threat if he can't do anything.
Yeah, why should I care?
Yeah, exactly. So here he was. I think they kind of started along that line, and then they readjusted because they had to keep it consistent to a certain degree. So they couldn't just make him all powerful from the very beginning, but they started making him a bit more leveling up.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Did you? So when you listen to it, did you know that Kevin Conroy was Merman?
Yeah, straight away.
His voice is the same. Not the voice is the same, but there's a distinct way that he speaks.
Yeah. As soon as the first word came out, I was like, "Yo, it's Batman."
Yeah.
And I forgot that he does other voices besides Batman. So I was like, "Yeah, this is awesome."
But the thing is, it doesn't necessarily sound like Batman, but it's like his Bruce Wayne, his Batman. Not that he can't do the job. It's just that he sounds he voices a specific way that you can like, yes, I'm so used to how he says stuff.
Yeah.
I can work out who it is.
Yeah. It's like, ooh.
I did like Dennis Haysbert as King Grayskull as well.
Yeah, I liked him. I like Laura Henney as Evil-lyn.
Evil-lyn,
Not
yeah.
Evil-lyn, she's a wrestler. Yeah. I like that.
Her voice is distinctive though, because when she was pretending to be someone else.
Yeah, you're like, really? I know who you are.
But her character arc, I enjoyed as well.
Same. It was random that Justin Long was Roboto. I was like,
oh. I don't think I realized at the time.
Neither did I until I looked at Wikipedia. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I think because it sounds like a robot. That's the thing. He sounds like a robot, so you can't really distinguish who's beyond that, you know.
No, but once you know it's him, you kind of can tell. You're like, oh yeah, I can.
I like Phil Lamar as well as Hero.
Yeah, Hero.
He's got a distinct voice as well.
Yeah. No matter who he plays. The only time he is different when he's like Static Shock. He goes, oh yeah, he sounds completely different from when he's everyone else.
Yeah. But no, the thing with Phil Lamar is like when he was in Metal Gear Solid 2 and he was playing Vamp, who's a white guy.
Yeah.
White Spanish guy? Was he?
No, Romanian.
Oh, okay, whatever, yeah.
But still, you're like, oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's not that it matters the ethnicity of the actor there. It just seemed to be like, oh, okay, it works with the character.
Yeah,
you know.
Especially when I'm playing that, because I knew who Phil Lamar was at the point. I was like, I know that voice. And he's not that. But yeah, just get some mercy, kind of forget. So okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Oh, wait.
Yeah. I did like how like I was saying about King Grayskull, Dennis Haysbert. Yeah, okay, King Grayskull in this, right? I don't know how he's been drawn before, but with the dreadlocks and whatnot here.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that voice really suits him.
Yeah, man.
I think he's actually originally white though. King Grayskull.
So.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, because in the 2003 version, I can't remember if it's King Grayskull, or it might be. I think it's King Grayskull. They do an episode where they basically show the history, and I'm pretty sure it's King Grayskull who has the first sword of power, and he's riding a tiger that is like the size of a tank.
Oh, okay, you know, a bit like here though.
Amazing, yeah. Like, this is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, great show.
Yeah, I did. Okay, we're gonna kind of skim around bits of the story, but I did like the journey of the story.
Yeah,
and it gave limelight to other characters.
Yeah,
and then it did like the certain characters I think are consistent in their portrayal, and then when they do things later on, you're like, exactly, that's what they would do. Yeah. So I can't blame the decisions.
No,
it's just like, well, yeah, what do I expect from these people? You know?
Yeah, like Beastman and stuff like that. You're like, oh, yeah, it makes sense what he does. You're like,
Evil-lyn especially is like, okay, well, you know, she's got Evil in her name.
Yeah, it's a foregone conclusion that's gonna happen. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to part 2, and I wonder how. I mean, they ended on quite a cliffhanger.
Yeah, you're like, ooh.
Yeah. So I am looking forward, after watching this, I'm looking forward to seeing part 2. I wonder if it's going to be like, you know, when you got series 1, part A, series 1, part B, or are they just going to be like one series and always going to be part 1, part 2, part 3, like that?
I don't know, you know. Yeah, that's be quite interesting to see where they go with this.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can go more than one season with this. If I'm honest.
What, this particular storyline?
Well, this whole thing, I think, because like, where do you sort of go
Well,
next?
when you say one season, because animation seasons are different as well. You know how like you get TV seasons are different everywhere.
Yeah.
How many episodes would you say is one season then?
If we go with
20?
like not oldish cartoons, but cartoons from like say the late 80s to like the early 2000s, when seasons for cartoons were like 26 episodes.
Yeah.
But now, I guess, because they're more like high end and stuff.
Yeah. I think it's because they take longer to do.
Yeah. Like all the CGI and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot longer.
Yeah. What I liked about this is also these 5 episodes are like one story, one big story broken up to pieces. Where you know the old cartoons, sometimes you maybe a 2 or 3 part, right? But they're all like inclusive.
Yeah.
And everything kind of resets by the end of the episode, so you could skip an episode and the next episode, it didn't matter.
Yeah, it's not till like most of those old cartoons weren't till like say the last 3 episodes of the season where they sort of like had continuity for them. But yeah.
And then you have some cheesy 80s line to close out the episode, and everyone goes, oh!
Yeah. Hence why I didn't really like the original He-Man. But yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't mind the alterations here, and I did. I like to see where the story was going here, because not to say each episode was a cliffhanger, but it was like, okay, something happened here to progress
to here.
The big story that was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked everything they did in this. Like I said, the old 80s He-Man. As a kid, I was a fan just because the toys, but the show itself was probably terrible. Yeah. And then I really liked the reboot in 2003. I really liked that.
What did you think of the New Adventures of He-Man?
Was that the one where he... I remember it slightly because I was going to bring this up, where he had jeans, right?
Yes. Well, okay. Blue, whatever, right? It could be jeans, could be spandex, could be... Who knows what they are, but yes, blue sort of garments on his lower half.
Yeah, no, I was not a fan.
Oh, I did like So as we were saying about that He-Man, New Adventures of He-Man, I don't like the power sword in that. It looks a bit awkward.
Yeah.
I also do not like the look of the 80s power sword. It didn't look really good either.
No, kind of crappy.
Yeah, the power sword from the 2003 series looked a bit spiky. Is the best way I can put it.
Gangster, man. I love that one.
I did the update of the power sword here in Masters of the Universe. I think it looks good.
It looked kind of bland as well. I was like,
no, but it looked good considering it needs to be consistent. So it was like an updated version of the 80s power sword.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But I'm sure the Masters of the Universe, the 2003 series, had spikes at the power sword everywhere.
I don't know. I need to quickly have a look at that, because I remember there's a bit where he unlocks like a secret power to it, and it like opens up, and it's like awesome. But
is it like a Cloud Strife in the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, where he just brings out more and more swords?
Kind of, but not as insane.
Okay. No, the power sword here, yeah. It's got, the cross guard.
Yeah.
It's got like spikes and 4 of those spikes.
Yeah, man, I love that one.
I don't know about that.
Oh man,
I mean,
look, that was amazing.
Right. Yeah, but no, look, thumbs up overall. Would you say for this? For this, yeah. I enjoyed it as well. Oh, man, spoilers now, I guess.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right. Now I have to say, so Tila found out. Okay, it's called Revelation, Master Universe Revelations, because Skeletor finds out that He-Man is Prince Adam, and Tila finds out he has to contain the power of some explosion, right? That Skeletor's causing.
Yeah.
And it reverts him back to Prince Adam while he's holding the power sword, which he's split in 2.
Yeah.
And then everyone in the vicinity finds out, and Skeletor's like a child all this time, or a teenager, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So He-Man's also Shazam?
I guess.
Okay. No, but he's not a kid. He-Man. and He-Man and Prince Adam are the same age, right?
I
No,
don't know.
because they like in the 80s cartoon they looked about the same age because they looked the same.
Yeah, same
physique,
person,
right?
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now they slimmed him down, Prince Adam. I guess they were like, okay, must be a teenager, right?
Yeah.
So they must be putting a Shazam.
Because that's what kind of confused me
Yeah.
about this. You know, everything after the first episode.
Yeah.
What's the time span between it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because.
Yeah, because it seems like stuff has changed, but for all we know, it could have been a week.
Yeah. Because I think even Tila says she calls Prince Adam a teenager, and all this time I thought they were the same age.
Yeah.
So I was quite confused by that. I was like, wait, so has he been dead for years and she's grown up, or?
Yeah. Maybe what they mean is kids, like, not necessarily. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you say, I thought they were the same age, but then again, his cartoon didn't really have. He looked how he looked. So there's no definitive.
Yeah. Because I get if it's 5 years gap, we're just saying, I'm throwing this out there. I don't know if it's true or what. Yeah. Then I can understand, when she sees him in the afterworld. Spoilers. Yeah. Now I can say, okay, cool, she's grown up, but was she always in her 20s?
Yeah, maybe she was just a little bit older then. Here's a byproduct of when you have the same character as the same person, and then you suddenly kind of tweak it with because in a little bit of a retcon, I think that we would say,
yeah,
that Prince Adam and He-Man aren't the same age, and and Orko is now ineffective.
Yeah,
I mean, not that I didn't like it. I get what they did because magic has gone from the world, so therefore he started being a bit goofy before that as well.
Yeah.
So I think they should have had him. You could say be comic relief, right? But still be effective. And then when the magic adjusts from the world and gets eliminated or whatever, then you can start having him being a bit like, oh, yeah, I cast spells and they go wrong.
No, I don't think...
Well, did you want Orko to always be effective?
No, I liked it how he did it in this, where he was like a joke, and then when the war got more serious, he got serious.
He stepped up.
Yeah.
Right. Well, no, I'm just saying if they did it if the way they did it here was a bit inconsistent how he was in the 80s show, because he actually could do stuff. That's all.
Yeah, but the 80s show was fine.
Yeah, okay. No, I like the way they did it in this as well. Just like when you go back to that and this is supposed to be a sequel to that, it's kind of like, okay.
But is it though?
Yeah, you know what? Okay, how they market it is kind of yes, right? But I reckon it could be a solo thing. It's solo alternate continuity.
Yeah, that's how I would see it, if I'm honest.
Or like a side sequel or a retool or something like that, like a spiritual sequel or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
With I was about to use an example for something I literally forgot I was going to use an example for. But yeah, like that. Or how Transformers did it.
Yeah.
Beast Wars is actually a sequel to the original 80s Transformers.
Yeah.
And that kind of worked because they kind of took what was good and got rid of the stupid inconsistency in it, which I'm guessing they sort of done with this.
Yeah.
So if you look at it like that, yeah, it works. Yeah. I guess, I don't know. That again, this is just me trying to make logic in my brain.
Yeah. So the people that didn't know he was Prince Adam, like Tila and Skeletor, found out, right? Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. That just ups Skeletor's threat level a little bit. Now he knows a secret, right? Yeah. Except they wiped them out in the first episode, which I didn't mind. I was like, okay, what's going to happen is now it's based on the other people going to get the limelight, because I don't want to say He-Man always hogs the spotlight, right? Yeah. But if it's not there, if the guy that resolved the problem is not there to resolve the problem, then let's get the team together, and figure out a way around it.
Yeah,
and, then everyone else gets the glory.
Yeah.
Unlike when Dom Toretto switched over in Fast and Furious 8, and then everyone was just useless.
No, they weren't. But I get what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah. So, and I know Tina threw a little bit of a fit when she was like, everyone knew it was Prince Adam but me, right? But then the king didn't know either, and the king's like, I'm gonna banish all you jabronis because He-Man died, and He-Man was Prince Adam. Therefore, my son died. All you people that knew, you'd let him die. I was like, well, no, king, that is not the case.
No.
But I can see you're doing it from a place of emotion. And not logic. And then when Tila also did the same, it was like, because it was in the same place at the same time in the same scene.
Yeah.
Like, that's fair enough because I've had enough of this. I'm getting blamed for something that isn't my fault, and secrets have been kept from me. I've had enough of this crap. I'm out of here.
Which makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm saying logically, when you look at it from an outside point of view, as we are the audience, you're like, you people are just too rash. But when you look at it from the character's point of view, you're like, you know what? They're probably kind of, it's a poor decision.
Yeah.
But they're not thinking about it at the time.
No, they think of emotion, and you don't really at a time like that. You don't think.
Yeah. Exactly. And I like that, but not that she became a mercenary or something, but it's just like, well, she moved from one, and she was made man at arms as well. She got promotion.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, good stuff.
And then she's like, no, I don't want this.
You could take your damn promotion and you can shove it.
Shove your ass. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, that just made her kind of like, first of all, when they were like, oh, you are going to be the new man at arms dealer, I was like, okay, so you're upgrading her.
Yeah.
Status, right?
Yeah.
And then when she just throws it down and says, I don't want it. You can take, none of this.
Yeah.
It's all crap, right? I was like, oh yes, they're making her stand out, know, as a character. Because that's kind of I want to say the rough character she would be, but it's like, you know what? That's her mentality. That's how the character should be.
Yeah.
And then she moves to mercenary jobs. And I'm like, yep, okay, she was a warrior to go to a mercenary. It makes sense.
It's a logical step, yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than her just being a recluse or whatever. Be like, oh, that's kind of.
Yeah.
She spent all her life trying to get to this point, and she goes, I'm gonna do nothing. That would be a bit like. Oh,
yeah. So she was a samurai. She became a ronin, sort of, to a degree.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Other parts that you enjoyed? I have to say, man at arms as well. When he got ousted.
Yeah.
He became the recluse, but it's like, no, it kind of makes sense.
Makes sense with age and stuff. Like, it makes sense. And for someone whose whole life is dedicated to looking after like the royal family, and then getting kicked out, you would just like, what's my meaning now? Yeah. So that worked.
Yeah. What do you think of Andrea?
Oh, she was cool.
Is she a original character?
I was about to ask you that. I'm pretty sure she is. Because I've never seen her any other incarnation of He-Man.
Yeah. I mean, they might have just, for all we know, they might have just plucked a character and kind of used and readjusted her to be more relevant in this particular story.
No, the only other thing I could think of is, unless she's from like the comics or something, but I don't know. She could be.
Yeah, but she was cool as well. She got to do stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, He-Man disappears by the first episode. By the end of the first episode, so mostly the action's Tila doing stuff. I'm like, okay. Well, she's the warrior. Why not?
Yeah.
And she can kick ass as well.
Yeah, exactly. She's a badass. So it's cool.
Exactly. Yeah. I've seen Cringer. Look, okay. So he started being a jabroni as he does because he is Cringer, right? Cringer by name, right?
That's his thing. Yeah. That's his gimmick.
Then, so during that time skip, whatever time skip, however long it is, right? When he's left and they have to go to Castle Grayskull to revive the sorceress.
Yeah.
And Tila throws the spear at Evil-lyn, who's reviving the sorceress. Cringer catches it. Cringer can do stuff now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so was he protecting the sorceress by himself in Castle Grayskull? And even though he was a coward, he stepped up a little bit more.
In dire times, man, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she must have, whatever the time skip was, he must have been like, now if she dies, then we're completely screwed.
Yeah. It's like, oh no.
I did like that Skeletor succeeded at the end of the first episode wiping out He-Man.
Yeah. Even though he killed himself, but yeah.
Yeah. But then it's like, well, you got a victory, yeah. You got to be the threat that you always wanted to be.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You took down your enemy and yourself as well. Whatever, because that's villain logic. I'll take you down with me.
It's a win.
Yeah, exactly. Even if I die, it's a win. But yeah, it helped. Yeah, removing those two main characters helped elevate all the background characters. I did like how the story is basically the journey of Tila, Evil-lyn, Beastman, and I want to say it was Man at Arms, but was it really, who was the other guy in it? Oh, Andrea.
Yeah, and Roboto to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
About them trying to. So the sword of power got split in two.
Yeah.
And they are there to try and collect the pieces to put it back together.
Yeah, because it gets split into. Yeah.
And then once they go to heaven/hell, all the renamed versions of whatever they were called, I can't remember exactly.
I want to say Centurnia and
Preternia,
yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Which He-Man, well, Prince Adam was there with the other previous He-Man.
Yeah,
who were in
all
the
previous power sword. I mean, sort of power wielders.
Yeah. One of them, which was female and Japanese, was it? I don't know, foreign language, right?
Yeah.
Because when she spoke English, it sounded like Japanesey English.
I thought she was like some Native American, but yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It was definitely a foreign language, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, and Prince Adam was the only one that went over there in the paradise heaven realm as Prince Adam, not his He-Man. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, because they're going for like a Clark Kent thing here, I guess. He
just was Prince Adam.
Yeah. Which is probably not different to how the original cartoon did it, because they were essentially indistinguishable, other than I got a tan.
Yeah, literally, that was it. And I wear pants. I wear underwear instead of this.
Yeah. So so once they dealt that and come back to Earth, and Prince Adam's putting the sword of power back together, then what's his name? Skeletor, like suddenly he gets shanked out of nowhere. Yeah. And you're like, no, what happened? Skeletor. He was there all along.
Yeah.
He was in the staff. Yeah, he never died. He was he reabsorbed himself into Evil-lyn staff. Came out at the most opportune moment. Grabs the power sword, and he just looks at Evil-lyn, and Beastman goes, "You're coming back on my side, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, boy." Yeah, they're like, "You know what?
Yeah, I know nothing else, so yeah."
Yeah. Actually, featured the line like, pity I'm starting to like you, kids."
Yeah.
Oh well. And I was like, you know what? That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And then then Skeletor uttered the immortal words, "By the power of Greystone, I have the power." Cliffhanger.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's become Skeletor Man? I was waiting for him to say what his new name is if he took one. I was like, oh, okay. I'm guessing they don't actually know themselves at this point.
Yeah. Which is, you know what? I think that's another good thing about this is the break in the episodes, because you're like, okay, give me what's the suspense? Yeah. What's he gonna call himself? Just like when there's Vegito and Gogeta, Skeletor calls himself what? Skelly Man?
That's what I was thinking. Like Skelly Man, Skull Man. I don't know. He's skeleton. Yeah, I don't.
yeah.
I just don't know.
Exactly. But no Skeletor would just come up with something really goofy like that.
Yeah, or it might just be like King Skeletor or something.
Oh, Helator, because he's like hell version, like not God.
Yeah. You're like, oh, okay, I guess. Whatever. Better name than Scarecrow. Like that character.
Yeah.
I was with it until she said his name. I was like, really?
Yeah.
This guy's like the devil or whatever.
Yeah.
He's basically Candyman, as he is voiced by Candyman.
Yeah.
And then she goes Scarecrow. I was like, that's the least scariest name I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool, I guess.
Yeah.
You're not that scary anymore.
Yeah. I did like how when they went there though, the team got separated. Tila had to deal with like finding the vision of He-Man?
Yeah.
And
then the vision of herself. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Evil-lyn and Orko were getting past their own magical, like, okay, they're magic wielders, but they do it in a different way, and they're kind of getting past their own faults with each other.
Yeah.
And then and then she betrays the team at the end. But whatever, that comes later. But you know what? I think it just all this helps build the characters, even the bad guys.
Yeah.
They get character development as well.
Yeah.
So when they get back, when they switch back, you're like, yeah, well, that's typical of them.
Yeah.
It wasn't all for nothing.
No, and it kind of I don't want to say hurts, but it kind of like gets you a bit because I kind of felt sorry. You feel more sympathetic to them. Like, oh, okay.
Especially when she said, it's like, oh, when Orko's kind of joking around with her.
Yeah.
And she said how she got why she became a mage or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then basically he's asking her about her name, and she said, I wasn't always evil. My first name was actually Lynn. I added evil myself, and then they have a little joke. I'm like, you know what? It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and then, especially when you first meet her, she's like, I don't know. I had my own plans and dreams, and then I just ended up following Skeletor and helping him become what he is. Even though I could have been a master of the universe. You're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's kind of funny with Skeletor. We had this line. I can't remember exactly what it is, but basically something talking about something about. So I think, was it Aldria or was it Tila saying to Skeletor, why are you doing this? Why? Because he stabbed at Prince Adam after he came back.
Yeah.
Right? And Skeletor just swaggers up, just moves his head very creepy towards him, goes and says something like, "Do you think something about? Do you think I could get a woman with a face like this? No, that's why I got to do all this stuff."
Oh, okay, that's his motive. Cool.
No, but I think that the way he's playing is like you don't know if it's a joke or not. You know, because he's hamming it as he's going along, and it doesn't sound sincere at all. It just be like, I'm evil because I'm evil. But let me just get a rise out of you.
Yeah, that's when again I was like, you sound too much like the Joker at this point. But it works.
Yeah. Any bad points in particular that you can think of?
No. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I couldn't really think of any bad points. Like I said, the only thing I thought was a bad point was Scarecrow, the name. That's literally about it, really, which I thought was.
And the only other thing, like we mentioned before, but the rash decision making, but that's not uncalled for in the situation they were having. No. Some people were just like, when you're the audience looking at you, you always just think, in these situations, you always like, no, people, you can just get along, right?
Yeah, but realistically, no, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't even happen in real life, so you can't be like, oh, a cartoon's doing it wrong.
Yeah. But
yeah.
No, there's nothing I hate. Nothing I disliked. So
when they were in Preternia.
Yeah.
And they were doing they were on the flying discs.
Yeah.
Was that in the animated series back then? Because I thought, that's a joke from the movie. Because the movie they had the flying discs that they were on. I
don't remember. I strangely remember those flying discs in She-Ra, the old cartoon.
Oh, really?
But I don't really remember them being in Master of the Universe.
All right. The film?
I don't know.
You don't remember being in the film?
I remember it being in the film.
Remember flying semi-naked Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah, I remember that. So I thought, okay, the films took that from the He-Man She-Ra crossover.
Oh, right. I didn't know. I don't remember. I don't recall seeing them in the cartoon, but they might have been. But I was like, for myself, I was like, oh, they're referencing back to the movie.
I was like, oh, people actually want people to remember that. Oh no.
Yeah. Okay, maybe they weren't referencing the movie then. In that case, we can think about that.
I need to go back and find out, because why would you want that as an Easter egg? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Who cares for it?
Yeah. But yeah, the pace moves so quickly. I actually wanted to see more, and I thought, I know it's part one, and it kind of concludes itself.
Yeah.
To a degree, it leaves a cliffhanger, I think, but He-Man and Skeletor, who died in the first episode, come back at the end of the fifth episode, so it's not as if that's not unresolved. The only thing that's unresolved now is what happens to Skeletor now he's got all the He-Man powers.
Yeah, and is Prince Adam actually dead?
I don't think he is. Okay, no, I don't think he is, but I think it's just to remove him from the action for an extended amount of time. Like they killed him the first time to remove him from the action.
Yeah.
At least if he's injured now, he don't need to be in on the action because Prince Adam's probably useless anyways, right?
Yeah.
But later on, they might give him a suit of armor or something like that to join the fight after he's healed. So he'd be like, getting the hot tag at the end where
Yeah. But
everyone's
then,
in hurt and everything like that, and then you just see like him drop down in his Hulkbuster armor or some craziness.
I really don't want that to happen.
No, I'm just saying he'd be the...
like, I feel that this show, and my feeling of where it's going is she's going to become the new, I want to say, not Prince of Power. I don't know what He-Man's thing is, but I feel like she's going to get the thingy sword next. Then it's going to be like, oh yeah, cool, awesome. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean, okay. So at the end of this series, like when part 2 concludes,
Yeah.
I can see that happening. Maybe Tila will get the sword of power for some reason or another. Maybe have a series with it before they pass back to... It's a bit like when the Hot Rod got handed over the Matrix of Leadership.
Yeah.
Because you can't really... I don't want to say you can't really have a He-Man series without He-Man. It is called Master of the Universe. But I think people were expecting He-Man to have it, and they probably can allow for Tila to have it for a certain amount of time for whatever story they're writing. But I don't think they'd be happy if Tila was having it and you just sideline Prince Adam.
That's why you kill him. I mean,
no, if they do something interesting with Prince Adam, as Prince Adam, not He-Man, then yeah, that's fine, because it's like, okay, now you're furthering him along because he doesn't need the crutch of being in that guise to actually do stuff.
Yeah, I get that.
So we'll see how they do that. But yeah, like you're saying, I do think kind of hope that Tila does get it because it adds something new to the series. But then again, you are already. I know they're kind of with different licenses, so you can't introduce She-Ra here specifically.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Just like you've made Tila She-Ra.
You could do it, but she wouldn't be She-Ra because She-Ra has a different sword, so that's why she's She-Ra.
No, but it just seems like you're doing it because you can't get She-Ra, so you just tweaked another character into She-Ra.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Do you think they how does the story work with She-Ra in it? Because they don't mention her. They don't say that she doesn't exist as well. And the family, like the king of Eternia, is like, oh, our son's died. And then
we have a daughter.
No mention of no twin daughter, no nothing. Just like, all right.
Yeah.
I'll banish you, man, arms for allowing our child to die.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, how you would.
Yeah. But yeah, there's new ideas introduced here, right? Which I'm glad to see.
Yeah.
And it's not as typical as you like. Obviously, it's a massive upgrade from the 80s cartoons in all the surface areas as well as actual story because it's one long massive story.
Yeah.
But the characters also get development as well. And Skeletor actually becomes a threat. I think there was one scene where someone got. I think Beastman destroyed someone.
I'm trying to remember.
I think it's Beastman because he's the only person I can think would do this, right? And whoever his head was slashing just had his shoulders in frame.
Yeah.
It didn't even have blood, just had the sounds. So I was like, okay, children's TV show kind of, yeah. And there's a bit.
Oh, I remember. I want to say it was I think his name's Steeljaw. That's pretty Transformer, but yeah, I know you're talking about. They killed him with his blade or his hand, didn't it? And he went,
something like that.
Yeah.
They edited around it.
Yeah.
Not edited around it. They had whatever the camera angle they had for the animation was not to show that.
Yeah, but you know what happened.
Like, exactly. And they didn't even have a blood splatter everywhere, so it's like, okay, fair enough. From the sound effects, I know exactly what happened. I don't need to see it though, because this is not, this is not one of them cartoons where you can have that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly, because it's a oopsie.
Yeah.
Trapjaw, that was it. Trapjaw, that's his name.
I did also like He-Man's just super overpowered here. So Skeletor's fighting He-Man. Skeletor creates a portal where Skeletor punches through that portal, and a big, massive Skeletor fist comes from another portal to the side of him, right?
Yeah.
And He-Man, normal He-Man, just punches that big fist and he breaks it. And Skeletor's like, he pulls his hand out of the portal and his hand's broken. or something like that. And I'm like, oh man. But then this is the same guy who grabbed, I think, a part of the Earth and threw out a meteor.
I was about to say
into
that. Yeah, I was like, let's bring that up about
Yeah.
his stupid feats in the old one. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm like, I'm glad. Not he was removed from the equation, but he's just too overly powerful. And when they split the power sword in half, if they half his power or something like that to make him more vulnerable, fair enough. In fact, if they just at the end, I know Skeletor grabbed the power sword and and used the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
But if they had it split in half and Skeletor grabbed half of it and He-Man grabbed the other half, then that'd still be all right because he'd still have power. But then Deep had enough, and Skeletor got an upgrade in power as well. So it'd be like
it sort of evens it out.
And then he'd have to use a bit more of brains like he would if it was Prince Adam rather than Brawn because he doesn't have all that power.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. That's why this is not directly connected to the 80s one because of the stupid overpowered stuff.
Yeah. That's why I thought, like, when they split the power sword, I was like, okay, half, maybe. It's kind of like it might be, but no. That's not what they went for, which is fine. It's fine.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So I thought Sarah Michelle Gellar was good as Teela.
Yeah, I love her.
I think it's because though she played Buffy, and you're like, yeah, I'm used to kind of, I can believe that character, like her voice in that character can do stuff because I've seen her actually do stuff.
Yeah.
But she has lent some credibility and gravitas to Teela as well. She wasn't just there to be a female brawler,
Yeah. She had point to her.
Yeah. And I liked how they upgraded kind of the illustrations of the characters. Teela's got that undercut in her hair.
Yeah. When she became a merc.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, they kind of, it doesn't set in a specific time period, but they've modified the looks for our current time period.
Yeah.
That's all good. Yeah. No real negatives at all, I don't think.
No.
Aside from the ones we already mentioned, that
Yeah.
Other than, of course, when Evil-lyn was pretending to be Majesta, and you're like, lean easy.
Yeah.
I don't even sound old. You're an old character. But then I guess it was meant to be obvious that something was up.
Yeah.
Because she could do American accents or whatever, right?
Yeah. Well.
And they could adjust her, not necessarily adjust her voice, they can make her cadence different to make her sound older if they wanted to. However, they do. So I think it's a deliberate choice. It's like, yeah, it's blatant for the audience to know because at this point, it's just episode 2 and Evil-lyn's. You don't know what. It's a massive time skip. You don't know what's happened, and Teela's not around Grayskull Eternia area anymore. So, yeah, I think a voice was just to make sure. Oh, nudge, there's something shady going on. Yeah. Audience, stay with us.
Yeah, even though you're like,
It was like, come on, Teela. But then again, Teela was like, Evil-lyn, we like when they got the stuff for her, and it's like, Evil-lyn, what are you even trying?
Yeah, you're like, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Which is fine. It was a great call out.
And one person I say who didn't get that much of the limelight was what's her face. I want to say the sorceress.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't do much, did she? After episode 1.
Yeah.
She doesn't do much. Like, oh, okay.
Well, you know what is strange? Okay, so Teela's the daughter of the sorceress. Does she know? Does Teela know?
Because I think that's a secret they kept trying to tell her.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I don't think in the old series Teela knew, but there's no mention of it. And the only thing is, like you're saying, the sorceress is gonna say something to Teela, and Teela's like, "This is not the time for it." No, Evil-lyn's like, "This is not the time for anything. We need to go and get this particular issue sorted."
Yeah.
So whatever drama, no, she didn't even say family because she didn't know what was going to be said, but she's like, whatever drama you got, sort it. Magic is dying in this world. We've only got a sliver of left in my scepter, and it's dying like into embers right now. So let's get going.
Yeah, let's just move on.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm wondering, is Teela going to go throw a fit even more when she finds out?
Yeah. Like, oh, cool. Another thing none of you told me. Great.
Yeah. I believe Man-at-Arms adopted her. It's not her actual dad, is it?
Yeah, he adopted her. Her and Roboto, because Roboto is his consciousness.
But does Teela know that she's adopted?
Yeah.
Right.
Remember,
Okay.
she goes, "Oh, I was an orphan girl, and you took me into."
Oh yeah. That kind of yeah. Yeah, because I was gonna say if Man-at-Arms is hiding another secret from her, she's like, "Oh, come on, people,
like,
what's wrong with
dude.
all of you?"
You've had your chances, it's like tell me everything. But no, great.
Yeah, so
Cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tila did get to wield the sword of power for like an extended amount of time, because then the daughter of the sorceress makes the sword of power cut in Grayskull. Yeah. It's a logical move if were they to do that. Yeah.
Unless when she finds out that she is the sorcerer's daughter, she's a full blown like heel turn and it becomes.
Yeah. She got that for F's sake. You know what, people? I'm on my own team now.
And if they did that, I wouldn't be surprised because how they've done it. Like, okay, that makes sense. Like, she's like, you know what? Screw these people.
Yeah. And she has her band of mercenaries that do whatever job they can.
Okay, that makes sense. You know.
Yeah. But then it's then like all the villains as well. They don't team up with each other all the time, anyways.
No.
So it's not as if they can't. You know what? They have to explore other parts of Eternia.
Yeah.
I reckon, because they've got where the Skeletor is, right? They got the sea realm where Merman is, right? And they got some forest areas, and maybe the other town that Tila was in with Andrea, but they didn't really go anywhere else. It's a massive Earth, isn't it? Massive Earth planet.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see. Hopefully they bring some. Look, okay. I don't want them to overcrowd it, but if they expand the world and the lore a bit more, just so like they see other towns and other places. Yeah, okay. I'd like to see how different areas are, because not everywhere is going to have a He-Man, but maybe different areas have protectors or different villains that I haven't encountered before.
Yeah.
We'll see. So that's stuff for the next series, maybe, or even part 2, whatever.
Yeah. To see where it goes.
Cool. Nice. All right. Are we signing off here?
We could do if you want.
Yeah. Unless you got more to say.
No, the only thing I would say, we kind of forgot to mention like the death of Orko, Roboto, and.
Oh yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Quickly. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Orko, yeah, his death made me quite sad. You know, he basically was holding off the character, the worst name ever, Scarecrow, from coming into our world. So Orko used his last bit of magic and like did, I want to say, a Chaozu with more effect.
Yeah. What's the move that Chaozu did?
Self-destruct, isn't it?
You know
what? I can't remember the actual name of it.
Yeah.
But it was like pointless because Nappa was like, "Ow, that scratched me."
Yeah.
You killed yourself for nothing. Yeah, so that. And then Moss Man died in the first episode as well, where Skeletor just set him alight.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wow. This series is quite dark. That's when I was like, oh, wow, they mean
Well,
business.
to be fair, they did set a light to the guy who was plants, and they're not a human, so kind of, I think they could get away with it, and that's why they did it.
You're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then Roboto basically sacrificed his life to forge the Heaven Sword and the Hell Sword together to become the Power Sword again.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man. But his death, that's one thing I didn't like. They kind of like glossed over his death.
Yeah.
Like he's basically Tila's brother, right?
Yeah.
And he died, and then like the next minute, like, okay, cool, let's carry on with doing like. At least mourn the dude, you know. You mourn Orko and Mossman, but Roboto, he's a robot, but he basically said, I feel, I'm a human.
Yeah. So I like that. He was like, oh, I'm a robot, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh yeah, I've got Man-at-Arms' memories and stuff like that, but I'm a machine. So you don't have to worry about me. And then later on, when he's dying, it's like, oh, I think Man-at-Arms made me too good a machine because I have the feeling of death.
I fear death.
Creeping over me.
Yeah.
I understand the feeling of the darkness that. Well, essentially his organs shut down, but it's not his organs. It's mechanics, whatever. and he's like, I don't want to die, but I know what's happening. I was like, ooh.
And that's like quite an emotional bit, right? So you'd think, okay, cool, they're gonna mourn his death afterwards, you know? No, nothing. Just let's get this show on the road. And I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
And
So
they set up the whole bit like for you to mourn him, but then they just carry on.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah, that's okay. That's one of my gripes about the show. That's about it. Yeah.
But no, other than they're minor gripes.
Yeah, minor. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Dreadful or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so overall, like obviously, like you myself, you enjoyed it, and you're looking forward to the next series, next set of episodes, whenever
they decide to drop it.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, there's lots of places they can go with it, right? So
lots of places.
I wonder exactly what choices they're gonna make.
Yeah.
And I mean, they seem to know what they're doing. They know the story they're trying to tell.
Yeah,
got no issues with the story.
Nah, just stick to it.
Yeah. So that is us signing off now. Yeah.
Yep. That's us signing off.
I'm the green and yellow cat that Superman rides on his back.
Superman.
See why, Sean?
You said Superman. Superman.
Superman.
Yeah, you said Superman. I was like, wait, what?
All right. Yeah, him too. He-Man and Superman both ride the other way. No, that sounds really weird now.
Yeah, that does really. And I am the guy who puts Evil-lyn, Kyle Charles.
All right. So, thanks for listening, guys.
And we will actually no. I won't say see you now. Let us know what you thought of.
Yes, I was going to say spam the likes and all that stuff.
Yeah, spam the likes. Let us know what you thought of He-Man. Oh, sorry, Master Universe Revelations. Yeah. Was there enough revelations told? Should there be more revelations? Who knows?
Yeah.
And you think that He-Man was just a marketing ploy, and this is actually a story they want to tell about Teela, which is a better story in my opinion. But yeah, let us know what you think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yes, there are probably people upset they did that, but I'm more to the audience of this guy's has his time, right? But the story they're telling doesn't involve him.
Yeah,
it's just set in that universe with him.
Yeah,
and other people need to get this. Like, let's spotlight and character and develop other characters while he's there, or while he's not there in this case.
Yeah, not being bad, more interesting characters, because really, there's not much interest in He-Man or Prince Adam, is there? You know.
Yeah, he's more of a surface level character.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let us know.
Gimmick is he just changed from that guy to that guy.
Yeah,
literally. And he's the most powerful man in the world, and he pretends to be a wimp that is bulky.
Yeah.
Still.
Like, if they did when he became He-Man, it was a completely different person, then yeah, fair enough. There's some dynamics you can like dive into, but
yeah,
not really. If they're
unless, of course, it's more about how when he alters his personality or whatever.
Yeah,
like that as well. Yeah. But yeah, I think they were right to concentrate on other characters.
Yeah,
because they've been taking a backseat for too long, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Give them the limelight they deserve.
Yeah.
After 35 years. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let us know, guys, in the comments, and spam the like. Tell a friend. All right. Yeah. All right. And we'll see you next time on Trip Around the Multiverse.
Bye.
I am Adam, Prince of Eternia, defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous.